Hey guys, so as we were talking about last video, we've just finished putting most of the parts together. Now, you might have noticed that there's a few things we haven't done. So silly, I actually also forgot to make the dowels that I'm going to have to produce, as well as I haven't made the back slats. But the back slats we're going to leave for afterwards. We're going to quickly we'll assemble together the chair to the right distance apart, and then we'll put those in afterwards, okay? Because that's quite an easy process. As you can see, they're not glued in, they're not dowered, they're just glued in, so they're going to fit in the slots on the back rest no matter what. But yeah, we definitely can make the dowels now as well. So I'm going to move that off of our screen. We're going to quickly go to new, 30mm, create, and then let's start drawing. Now we are going to make these the size they actually need to be. So a normal dowel is well, the ones we use are 50mm long. We obviously don't need that. This is going to be going through two pieces of timber that are 19mm thick. So adding those together, and that gets to 38mm. We're going to go OK. We're going to set so we actually do use oak dowels though. So if I go tools, materials, go oak, and we're going to assign that, and then save that, and we're just going to call that 38 dowel. Which actually, in regards to me making dowels, I probably could grab a dowel from a different drawing because they're the most common size that I use, because we're normally doweling together some 19 by 19, or I mean going all the way through. So I guess there's only real two aspects that I use these for. As you guys know, I like my 3 dowels. So I've done that. Now we need to start putting this together. So create new. Now we're not going to go our metric standard millimeters. We can actually look down here and we go to standard millimeters IAM. So this is an assembly file. So you can see here, display name, assembly, units, millimeters, and create that. So first things first, what we're going to do is place in our, it does annoy me that it doesn't just come up. I think am I under inventor? Yep. So we're going to start off with our base of frame, open. We're going to add in 2 of these bad boys, because we need 2. Okay. We're going to use one of these as the origin point. It's probably going to be that one. So just like we've done on previous builds, we're going to go constrain that, apply, and then we'll constrain that, apply. So that's our base point there that's not going to move. And we're going to try to build this one first, and then we'll actually build the other one. Okay, let's get a good angle though, where I can see some stuff. Okay, I'm going to be happy with that angle. Move this over here a little bit. So I'm going to still bring in all the stuff that I need. But we're going to be careful not to, so where are we? Seat rails? No, we need a seat leg. Where's that? Have I not saved leg? No, I just called it leg. Silly. Open. Okay, so we're going to need to rotate this on its Z axis, just there to make it stand up properly. There we go, 1, 2. We're probably going to rotate this now on its X axis, so you can have those 2 in the appropriate position. So you can see there, kind of thing, like I'm setting them up in the right spots. Now what we need to do, so I've essentially putting these in the spots that I'm going to have them. So I'm imagining looking straight at the chair from this angle where the mouse is pointing. So now if I want to place another one, so this is essentially going to be our left frame. Top left frame, open. Yep. Now just checking that's wrong. Cancel that. Let's double check our top left frame. Let's open that. Open. Okay. Top right frame is correct though. So wonder why that hasn't worked for me. Maybe I forgot to press save and before I turned it into the top right frame. Anyway, so what we can actually do though is exit that, file, perfectly fine making mistakes. We're going to attempt to, so I know that I was being a spudly trying to figure this out. Now, literally though, because I was thinking, all I actually need to do is delete that and go OK. And right click on that and go edit feature. And we'll make that 35. Done. Top left attempt to save. Now we can go back to our assembly, which I'm going to put on the end. Whoa! Can I not do that, please? Oh God. What am I doing? Let's look at that. What am I doing? No. Let's get out of that because I don't need it. Alright, we're back to this one. Because I had to get out of everything else because it was acting weird and ruining the me looking good at this program is what it was doing. Anyway, so let's go top left attempt 2. Awesome. Fantastic. So now we need to think about this and how it's actually going to go on. So I've actually probably done this. Or is that stuck with the right way of it? Let's have a look. Whoops. No, so I did actually just need to flip that around, so I'm being silly. Anyway, it's getting a bit too nervous since I've already made a mistake. I was like, oh, what other mistakes can I make? So let's constrain these together first. Let's constrain you and you. Apply. Let's constrain you and you. Apply. Let's quickly flush that and that. Apply. Alright, we're going to do the same thing over here. Apply that. Apply that. And let's finally flush it. Cancel, because I clicked on something wrong. That one and that one. Apply. That doesn't look right, does it? Nope. Alright, so I've pressed on something wrong there, so let's quickly undo that. Where are my models? What? Oh, doing lots of things wrong. User interface. Biology, model browsing. Take that. What have I done? What have I done wrong? Okay, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to pause this real quick, shut this down, reopen it, and hopefully it won't be silly. Okay, so sorry about that, but that worked. You can see there that we've got our assembly up. I'm going to figure out what I did wrong then, but that was really annoying. So now, quickly looking at this, let's delete some of these because I've done the wrong thing there. Let's delete that. That one's fine and that one's fine though. So all we need to do is go to constrain, do that one to there, and go OK. All right. Now that should also be perfectly straight, as you can see there. They are nice and straight. Issue here is that I need to actually flip this around. So I was a little bit worried about it before, and I should have not been, to be honest. Let's flip it that way and that way. Fantastic. You can see there we've got that angle there, so you can kind of see where the seat's going to sit. All right. Go not so far. All right. Constrain. Now same process. This edge. This edge, apply, that edge, apply, flush, that and that, apply. You can see there it's actually done the same thing over here. Let's quickly just do a couple of these. Alright, and that'll actually probably do. No, let's just double check, make sure, go okay. Alright, so now we know that's solid. Alright, fantastic. What am I doing? Let's turn it around. Alright, I've somehow managed to go all the way around. And that's how I wanted it to sit. Alright, so now we can start putting this one together. And once we have put this together, we'll flush the front and the bottom of it, so that way it's sitting in line, and we can actually still move it sideways for when we put in the back slats for the chair there, okay? So let's start constraining some of these. We do want to be on this angle, because we are just constraining the tenons. I'm not going to make the same mistake I did before though. You can go fly. Let's do the ends fly. Let's flush it. Sweet. Alright. Back to the mate tool there. Apply that and apply that. And finally flush it off. Okay. So we've got our two ends there. Fantastic. Now let's add in our right one. So place. Top right frame, open that. Okay, and like we should have done before as well, I need to rotate it on the Z axis a couple of times to get it around the right way. Now before I start constraining that, just going to double check by looking at the angle, making sure it's sweeping backwards, and that I haven't made any mistakes there. So now we can constrain this one, and we constrain from the top because we're going to use that tenon again. And let's go this one there. Whoa, yeah, that's fine though. That edge to that edge, ply, flush, ply. Alright. Let's quickly constrain this other end. I'm going to flush it first because we've already got that tool selected. Yeah, there we go, cool. Alright, and let's have a look though. So you see how these don't line up at all. So that's not what we want. So the easiest way to keep this moving along smoothly is actually by just going flush there, apply, and we can do the top. Top's fine, apply. So now we do have them nicely lined up, so we can start putting other things together. Okay. So next step, what we're going to do is realizing that I've made a little mistake, but I'm not sure it's actually going to make a difference, and I don't think it's going to. So essentially what we've done, and we've flipped it a little bit, you can see these the rails for the seat. You see how the slot there is on the outside of those. Now it shouldn't make a difference because no matter what, we've put these dowels in the middle, so we can flip this around a little bit. It's going to look a little bit different to the original design, but hey, I mean, that's cool. I don't think it doesn't change the integrity of it or anything. So I'm not super stressed. So let's go with our seat rails now. Open that up. So you can see there, put that in like that. And then we just need to rotate this on the x-axis a couple times, flip it around, put it over here, and go okay. And let's go constrain. And we'll constrain that with that one. Apply. Constrain that one and that one. Apply. Flush the ends. Apply. So that should be good. Let's flush that and that. Apply. And let's constrain. No, use that and that. Apply. And that'll be done. Done. Okay, let's do the same thing over here. So we're going to start constraining that to there. Apply. Constrain that to there. Apply. Let's flush it. Yeah, I thought I clicked on the wrong thing there too. On that one. Apply. Alright, fantastic. Now let's quickly flip it around. Flush that and that. Apply. Flush that and that. Apply. Cool. So we've got our two frames set up now. Like I said, tying a little bit differently, but not super stressed. Now we can start putting some other things in. So let's try putting in our backrests. Oh, actually, no, won't put our backrests back supports in. We'll put our slats in first because the backrests sit on top of them. So place seat rails seats flats is what I was trying to say. Open that. We're going to rotate this on the y-axis, so we've got it that way, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Okay. So first thing what we might do is You see there, so perspective in this is a little bit different. So you got to see, I thought I was putting him flat, but I wasn't. So what we can actually do first is just constrain that to there, apply that to there, apply. And yeah, it'd be really cool to figure out a way to like put a bit of string of code or something to speed that process up a little bit, but I think we're a little bit out of luck, to be honest. Okay, so now what we're going to try to do, so looking on this angle here, we're going to try to line up that one and that one, apply. So getting the center line attached and then trying to find the other one. If you can't find it, you can always flip to the bottom and line up those center lines there. Which that one's almost done already. Apply. You see there, so we've got it lined up on that line, and we're then lining it up on that center line. So that's 2 points there that are making it be in the correct position. See there as well, that's perfectly, it's touching, but it's not like going through it kind of thing. Let's double check. Alright, cool. So now what we can actually do is flush that and that, apply. Let's see how that turned out. Awesome. See there, so we should, so if I go here, we can check if we're all lined up with the holes. Oh, not quite. So it's a fine line here, being able to check, so you can see that all the holes are lined up, which is awesome to see. Now let's chuck our backrest in. Backrest, open that. So we need to do a couple of rotations on this one actually. So we're going to rotate it on the x-axis first, get it standing up the right way, and then we need to rotate it more or less on the z-axis there. What's going on? Yep, so that's right there. Okay, didn't put them too close because they do need to sit on that that 5-degree angle there. So it's actually not as hard to do as you might first think though. So essentially what I'm going to do is go to constrain. I'm going to constrain that flat edge there so that it's best friends with this edge here. And I'm going to go apply. And then if it's going to be nice to me, yep, I'm going to go that edge there with that edge there. And we're going to go apply. And finally, the last thing we need to do is constrain that one with that one. Nope, don't let me. Let's quickly turn it around and have a look at what we're doing. Alright, let's see. That should, yeah, see, so it should move. I don't know why it was being silly. Constrain that. Maybe I was clicking on the wrong thing. So constrain that and that and go okay. Okay, so it's on the right angle, it's held in there, and it's flat on that. So you can see we've got our nice angle there. Alright, so now what we need to do is actually, it's a little bit easier too, because we can actually just go constrain. I'm pretty sure we can just go flush that and that, and go apply. It gives us our angle straight up. We can go constrain now. Constrain that one with that one, apply. The only thing we haven't done is, so we should have flushed the base of this first with the base of the other one, but we can't do that now, so we're just gonna have to make that with the appropriate slat and go okay. So now they should be symmetrical, which they are. So very, very happy with that. Alright, now quickly what we're going to do, just like we talked about previously, is just check out the distance across that is. So you can use the inspect tool, measure. If I'm like designing something original as well, so 930, so done. We're going to need to create a back one, so standard metric millimeters. So if I'm designing something originally, like I did with this bench and the stool and the chair, a lot of that actually in the assembly process is where you actually go through and say, hey, so what's going to be the appropriate size for this? For this particular piece, we were going to 930, 30, tab 42. So we're using a 42 by 19 for this. Extrude. Not quite as big because, well, we're not sitting on it, we're leaning back on it. It shouldn't be under as much stress. We don't need any dowels through this. Quickly need tools, materials. I use a lot of the same materials. I also wish that it had the feature of saving some of these, like favorite materials or something, would be really cool. And we're going to save this. I'm going to save it as back slat. Save that. Okay, so now we can move back to here. So last things we're going to do is put our slats in and then put our dowels in, okay? So we're going to go assemble, place, where are we? Back slat, open. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of rotations, rotate on the y-axis and then also rotate it on the x-axis. How many do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Yeah, let's quickly constrain these. Oh, I stuffed that up. So that's essentially what I was planning on doing. Constraining. Cancel. No, I stuffed that up. No. Oh, delete. So, what I meant to do was flush, not mate. So flush, that, and that. Apply. And that. Apply. Whoops. I'm not doing well today with clicking on the appropriate faces, which is very frustrating. Like that. Like that. And like. Alright. So, like we've talked about previously though, they don't line up perfectly. They don't. When you're putting them in, it's ridiculously hard to get it right. So now I've flushed that though, I can just constrain. And then hopefully, using the mate tool, apply that. And we'll apply that. It should be straight. It is straight, cool. So trying to find nice easy ways to constrain this in the best way possible, quickest way possible, is a big part of it. I don't want you guys having to sit here and watch a 30-minute video of me constraining things together, because essentially a lot of it is repetition, just like we're doing now. But I guess some of the tips and tricks that you can learn to hopefully speed up the process is what I'm trying to focus on and help you guys with your workflow as well as improving mine. So there we go, we've got those set up. Fantastic. So now last thing we're going to do is actually place in our dowels. 38 millimeter dowels. Open that. They've come in right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. So we're going to start from over here, and I need to go a little bit further this way. Yep, just so I can see. So we're going to go constrain that with, can let me do it? Apply. That one and that one. Apply. Oh, stuffed it up. What did I do? Okay, so again, just like I think I've talked about before, if you hover over one or click on one, it'll show you exactly what one in the list, especially when you start getting to this many different assembly, or what should I say, constraints. It gets really hard to keep track of them all if you're not using a trick like that. Now just using the enter tool. I actually didn't realise as well. So just using this enter when I'm having to do multiple things. From people watching my videos, there's actually some students that didn't know you could do that because I'm always going around clicking on the different things. So I guess it's good to clarify those things. Sometimes I'm getting a bit slow getting out of the habits of whatever I'm doing. So it's good to point it out, I guess. So I would have known that people are making that assumption. Come on. Almost there. Oh, I don't know if I did that one right, but it'll be okay. Yes, it's still not coming up properly. Come on, there we go. Alright, so we had a couple more, got one hidden there. I'm going to assume there's another one hidden somewhere as well. What have I done? Where's the hidden dow? Oh no, maybe I just missed one. So let's place one more dow. One more look there to see if I had missed it. Let's drain that. And okay. And then just the same process we did before, flushing the tops. So they are all good. Alright, now we are finito with that. Just double checking, everything lines up, everything looks fantastic. Alright, we are all good. So we've now assembled the chair, which actually was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Still, unfortunately, almost gone to 30 minutes of that video. But hopefully you guys have learnt something, a lot, hopefully. There's a lot of different things within that I kind of didn't realise. And with the parts originally, lots of different tips and tricks in terms of using the pattern tool, the mirror tool and things like that. So hopefully you've learned something. And we're going to do the generally a lot quicker video, which is the presentation view after this one.